you're going to start to be able to see the trend lines and the impact of all those little seemingly insignificant things that really do compound over time. Hey everybody, welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bello. First of all, happy 4th of July. I hope you are having a great weekend filled with fun and friends and freedom. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about why we need to zoom out and see the big picture. I myself am getting very caught up in the whole, it's not happening fast enough. I'm not seeing the results that I desire. What's the point of creating this content for you and emailing my list and making posts on social media? It just, I don't know. I feel like maybe you can relate with this. I'm doing a whole lot of stuff. I'm taking a whole lot of action, and I don't really see visible outcomes where the lines don't seem to be moving. But the key takeaway that I want to share with you is that we have to make sure to zoom out and see the entire picture. When I first started the podcast, for example, it was very frustrating to log in and see that I had 10 downloads the first month, 15 downloads the second month, 16 downloads the third month. And it wasn't until I did enough for a long enough period of time that I was able to zoom out and actually see a trend line instead of just appearing to have made no progress at all. Now that I zoom out on the podcast downloads, I'm able to see, wow, I'm getting 50, 60,000 downloads a month now, far different than the 15 a month I had when I first started, right? So whatever it is that you were doing, I definitely encourage you to track it. Like that Peter Drucker quote goes, what gets measured gets managed. And if you're able to track all sorts of things in your life, from business goals and personal goals and workouts and dates with your significant other or spouse, for example, you're going to start to be able to see the trend lines and the impact of all those little seemingly insignificant things that really do compound over time. Now, for the book club that I'm a part of, we just started rereading The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Jumpstart your income, your life, your success. And, this is kind of like The Slight Edge or Atomic Habits in terms of things happen over time and they start to stack, they start to compound. It seems like you're not making a difference. And lo and behold, 2 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, all these tiny little habits that we do daily, either knowingly or unknowingly, add up and compound over time to result in either the life that we do desire or a life that we do not desire. And of course, it is easier to create new habits than it is to break old habits sometimes. But of course, as long as we're aware, we can make those changes. We can pinpoint the things that we don't like. We can make tweaks to those, either eliminating alcohol, things like that, or drinking a little bit less. If you are aware, you're able to actually take action and make sure to change things so that when you zoom out over a long enough period of time, you start to see the results that you desire. So that's my reminder for you today. Whenever you're feeling frustrated, whenever you're feeling like you're not moving fast enough, you're not seeing progress, the lines look so small on the squiggly graph whenever you're looking at the daily stuff. What's the quote that I heard? The days are long, but the years are short. The days seem like, oh man, there's so much going on and you're not seeing progress, and it just seems like it's the longest day ever. But the years go by so quick when you look back and you realize, man, I really took those last few years for granted, or I thought that it was a drag, but those were the most fun years of my life. I hear several successful people talking about this, that the grind is their most favorite memory when they look back and they've seemingly made it to the top of the mountain, wherever it is that they are. First of all, there's always another mountain to climb. You never really fully arrive because the goals just get bigger and you want to accomplish even more. And second, I think that the struggle, the challenges, the late nights, all of those things, the uncertainty, that I'm hoping, I'm speaking into the future because I still deal with that right now. I feel like no matter where you are, you're going to continue to want to level up. But I feel that based on what I'm hearing and seeing in the books that I'm reading, the struggle is the fun part. That is the journey. As you overcome those challenges, you're just going to run into bigger and bigger challenges. And someone actually posted this on a Facebook group that I'm a part of recently. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I was sharing how, I felt frustrated, like I'm moving backwards. I'm not seeing the momentum this year that I was last year in my real estate business, just the challenges of the market, things like that. And so I was just saying, I'm frustrated, I'm burnt out, but I'm not quitting. I'm going to continue to push forward. And I realized that all these skills are stacking. So I wanted to share and be vulnerable and honest in that post for anyone who could relate. Because a lot of times people show the highlight reels and it just seems like everyone's winning all the time and their businesses are growing and their investments are going super spectacularly. And I've honestly felt like maybe I'm stagnant or stuck or moving backwards, or maybe the market's a little more challenging where I have to do more to achieve the same results that I was previously able to achieve. And one person commented that she had talked to someone else in the group. And one of the things he mentioned is that that feeling never really goes away, especially if you continue to grow, because every next level feels too big for you. Thanks for sharing your story. That was her comment. And I said, thanks so much. I really appreciate the comment. I've heard a few people mention this as well recently. It is reassuring to know that this uncomfortable feeling means that I'm growing. That really stuck with me. I'm going to mention that thing in her comment again that really stood out, especially if you stay growing, because every next level feels too big for you. Now, I wish that wasn't the case. And, part of me wishes you just arrive and you understand and you're the guru on the mountain and you don't have any more questions. There's no uncertainties. You literally know everything there is to know. But obviously, that is not the case. If that is the case for you, you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not stretching yourself because you're not sitting in that level of being uncomfortable, because then it's in that level of discomfort that you are growing, where you're challenging yourself just enough to get to that next level, to learn that new skill. And if you're zoomed in and you're looking at the day to day, I mean, it feels like a roller coaster, right? There's ups and downs, and it's super frustrating at times and super amazing at times. You've heard the entrepreneurial, the day in the life of an entrepreneur. It literally is that roller coaster of I'm a millionaire, I'm successful, I'm going to be a failure. Oh my gosh, I'm about to go bankrupt, right? You have those swings daily from a client who reaches out or a prospect who wants to work with you, and then you realize another deal falls through or something else doesn't go your way. So you have these highs and lows every single day. It's not until we zoom out, remember that even with investments and all those types of things, it's very volatile in the day to day or in the month to month graphs. But as you zoom out, you start to see that trend line either trending up or trending down, depending on what it is that you're tracking. And remember, track all your goals that are important to you. What gets measured gets managed. But most importantly, zoom out and see the big picture. Where is it that you want to go? What are the things that you need to do today that will get you there? And remember that compound effect. Things will take time. Nothing amazing happens overnight. I've harped on this so many times before, and part of it is just a reminder to myself as well that I got to calm down. I got to chill out. I'm doing the things that will get me to where I want to go. I am taking the right activities, and so are you. Just make sure to constantly be getting that, 360-degree feedback from people you respect and that are at a higher level than you. So this is what I do with like my business coach, for example, my business coach, some groups that I'm in, such as the Arete Syndicate group. I'm connecting with people and just getting feedback constantly. Hey, this is where I want to go. These are the things that I'm doing. Am I focusing on the right things? Is there any suggestion that you have on how I can improve what it is that I'm working on? And plenty of people have given me that reassurance of, look, you're doing the right things. You're just in a little bit of a slow season right now with your business, and that is totally fine. It's a little bit of a valley, but just keep on doing what you're doing, planting those seeds, adding value to others, doing free webinars, like building that goodwill in your community with the people around you. And as soon as things turn around, they're going to reach back out. One quick example, an attorney had called me because she saw my post in this business group where I'm like, I feel like I'm going backwards and things are slowing down. I'm not seeing the same success, starting to have self-doubt, wondering, was my previous success a fluke? Is it me? Is it the market? Did I get too lazy? Am I too much on that 4-hour work week? Like I really am starting to wonder if it's me or if it's just the craziness in the economy and the 6% interest rates and all those types of things that are contributing to the slowdown, which it's a mix of all those different things. And I know plenty of real estate friends who are also seeing the slowdown and not getting a million offers over asking price and stuff like that. So I know it is part of that. I don't want to come up with excuses. But anyway, this attorney had called me saying that she's got a bunch of clients. That's awesome. But at the beginning of 2020, she was getting a lot of momentum with a training she was doing for companies and for employees. And like, I forget the exact topic of it, but she was saying how she had all the success and she had already landed, $40,000 or $50,000 of contracts to deliver these presentations at various companies. And when COVID hit in March 2020, literally people were calling her within a couple of hours. She said, like, I think March 15th or whatever that day was, where everyone was announcing shutdowns and lockdowns and, work from home for a whole month or whatever. She mentioned that all that money pretty much dried up and refunds were requested and those opportunities disappeared because no one was interested in that workplace thing that she was talking about, because there was no workplace, right? There were no in-person things for the time being, for the considerable or for the foreseeable future. And that was a moment in time where things just kind of disappeared for her. So she pivoted a little bit. She started doing webinars and teaching things and adding value to others without asking for anything in return, doing a lot of this for free. And literally clients have come out of it now, 2 years later, now that we're in 2022, and a lot of companies that were remote are going back in person. They're calling her back. They're ready to get those trainings set up. And she's seeing the opportunities come back from the seeds that she planted a few years ago. So she was just being reassuring to me and, kind of filling my cup in a way, saying, don't worry, Chris, these are the things that I did. She shared that personal story of how income kind of dried up in a couple of things she was seeing success with because of something outside of all of our control. But now it's coming around because she had been adding value and staying consistent the entire time. So I know I'm on the right track. I'm sure that you are as well. As long as you're getting that feedback, keep pushing forward and zoom out and see the big picture. You may be hitting a rough point right now, a rough patch. You're in a little bit of a valley, but the next peak is right around the corner. If you zoom out and see that big picture, you will have enough hope to continue to push forward, even when things seem like they're not going your way, when it may seem like the odds are against you and all of that. So that's it. I hope you had a great weekend and that you're enjoying your 4th of July and freedom and fireworks and, burgers and hot dogs and all that kind of stuff. And I look forward to catching you on the next episode. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, be sure to drop them below. If you need help tracking your life and your personal goals, make sure to get a copy of the Complete Life Tracker. It's at chrisbello.com/free, completely free Excel file, super easy to use. I have a video that I created as well, explaining how to get the most use out of it and how to make any changes that you like. So I'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks again for your time, and I'll talk to you soon.